Namaste. Good morning, dear children. How are you all? I hope you all are doing good in this pandemic time. And let us hope that the coming days are much happier and better. Okay, children. Today, I stand in front of you to show you a simple and scientific and an interesting experiment called as paper chromatography technique. This technique helps us to separate the different compounds that are present in a mixture, especially the liquid mixtures such as the plant pigment extracts. Paper chromatography technique not only separates compounds, but it also helps us to identify the different compounds that are present together in the mixture, such as plant pigments. The paper chromatography technique was first discovered by Barton and Sage in the year 1943. Paper chromatography technique not only helps us in separation and isolation of the compounds, but it also helps us to test the purity of a particular compound. Okay children, today I will show you how to separate the different pigments that are present in a spinach leaf. I will make it into an extract and I will separate the pigments from the spinach extract. Okay children, before moving on to the procedure part, let me show you the materials that are required to perform this simple experiment. This is acetone. This is isopropyl alcohol. We need a measuring cylinder, a pestle and a mortar, freshly washed spinach leaves, a very thin and slender capillary tube, a scale, a pencil, and the chromatography paper to perform the experiment, and a beaker. So these are the materials that we are going to use to perform today's paper chromatography technique. So why wait? Let us move on to the experiment. Are you excited?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you? So let me first take a freshly washed spinach leaf and make it into bits and pieces and use a pestle and mortar to make it into a fine paste. Do you want to try? Yes. That's coming into a paste. That's nice. Do you want to try?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you find this bit hard to make it into a thin fine paste, right? So let me add little amount of acetone in order to make it into a fine paste. Okay? So I am using the acetone. And using a measuring cylinder, I will add little acetone in order to make this spinach leaf ground into a fine paste. This will make the mincing and grinding much easier. Now, what do you notice? Can you see, both of you?
This is the paste inside.
And can you see any color in the liquid?
Yes, ma'am. It's green.
Now, this green colored liquid is called the extract of the spinach leaf. Now, I will set it aside for some time. You know why I do that? So that whatever pigments are present in the spinach leaf, they get released into that green liquid. Okay? And we are going to use that as our sample extract to perform the experiment. Now, let it stand for some time so that the pigments are released into the extract. Meanwhile, let me show you how to prepare the chromatography paper. So I have taken a chromatography paper. This is called a chromatography paper, and using a scale and a pencil, I have drawn a line like this. From the bottom of the chromatography paper, say around 3 centimeters from the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is how we get our chromatography paper prepared using a pencil and a scale. Now we call this paper strip of paper as chromatography paper, or you can also refer it to as chromatogram. Okay. So this we will be using to perform our experiment. Now we have prepared our leaf extract, we have prepared our chromatography paper. Now let us prepare our solvent. Okay. So for the solvent, I will measure 4 ml of isopropyl alcohol using this measuring cylinder. Okay. Now, so this is 4 ml of isopropyl alcohol, and I have measured it using a measuring cylinder. Now, I will add 6 ml of acetone. I will add 6 ml of acetone to this. So how much is 6 plus 4 ml? It becomes 10 ml. Now can you check whether it is 10 ml or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The lower meniscus should touch the 10 ml line. Now using this measuring cylinder, let me empty the contents into the beaker. And gently stir it. You can try this to it gently. You too. You can try. Right. Now our solvent is ready to perform the experiment. And if you see this is our leaf extract. The green colored liquid is our spinach leaf extract. Now all the pigments, whatever pigments are there in our leaf, are being released into this green colored liquid. Okay. Now we will use this extract to perform our experiment, and for that I am using a fine capillary tube. Okay. I am dipping the capillary tube and sucking out the extract. And I will use the chromatography paper, and onto the line I will spot. I will spot this extract multiple times. Do you know why? Because I am trying to increase the concentration of the pigment extract on this spot so that we get better result. Do you want to hold this? You want to try?
Yes, ma'am.
You can hold it down like this. That's it. That's it. So let us allow this chromatography paper to dry for some time. Okay, it is moist. So let us allow it to dry for some time. So next thing what I am going to do is I will wait for the paper to be dried up. and then I will put the chromatography paper into this beaker having our solvent. Do you think it is dried up?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our chromatography paper is now ready to be experimented with. So I am gently placing it in the beaker that is having the solvent system. Children, do you observe anything? Can you see? Can you see? The solvent is slowly going
Inside the
upward direction. This is because this chromatography paper, due to the capillary action, it sucks the solvent and tries to pull the solvent upwards. Now, what happens as it is going upwards? It is interesting here. When the solvent goes upwards, it tries to pull the pigments that are in the sample spot. So whatever pigments are there in the sample spot, the solvent system tries to pull it along with it as it is going upwards. And later the solvent will stop at one place. Okay. Now that is the time when we observe. It's almost 45 minutes now. Now let us see the end result as to how our paper chromatography looks now. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am. By different colors.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you see at the bottom, you can see a light green colored spot followed by a dark green colored spot, then a yellow colored spot, and on the top an orange colored spot. Now, these differently colored spots are nothing but the pigments that we have extracted using the spinach leaf. Now, if you see these pigments, the first lowermost is the light green pigment, which is called the chlorophyll B pigment, and followed by a dark green colored spot, which is called chlorophyll A pigment. And we have seen our yellow colored spot, which is nothing but the xanthophyll pigment, and on the topmost we have seen an orange colored spot, which is called carotene pigment. Now, if you have seen them, they are all spaced out differently. Each spot is spaced out differently, even on the chromatography paper. They are not together. Did you notice? Now these are separated because each pigment has got its own molecular weight, its own chemical structure, and its own rate of speed while running to the top. So that is the reason these got separated out. These pigments got separated out, and we are able to differentiate from one pigment to another pigment. Can you observe something?
Yes. Ma'am, what are these colored pigments?
These colored spots are the pigments that are present in the spinach leaf extract.
Ma'am, why these spots are separated?
These spots are separated because each of the pigment has its own weight, its own chemical structure, and its own rate of speed.
Yes.
Okay, that is the reason some colored spots are in the beginning while some colored spots are noticed towards the end. Now, if you notice these colored spots, at the bottom you can see light green colored spot,
Yes.
followed by a dark green colored spot, followed by a yellow colored region, and on the top an orangish red yellow colored spot.
Yes, ma'am.
Now all these spots are nothing but these are the pigments, the differently colored pigments that we have separated using the chromatography paper. Now the light green colored spot has got a name called as chlorophyll B, while the dark green colored spot is called as chlorophyll A. And in the middle you can see a faintly yellow colored spot, that is xanthophyll, and on the top you can see a orangish yellow color, which is nothing but the carotene. You all know the carrot is orangish red color. It is because of the presence of carotene pigment. So the same pigment we have found it on the top. Children, do you know why the carrot is orangish red in color? This is because of the red, orangish yellow colored pigment which you have seen in the top, which is called carotene pigment. Now this carotene pigment is the same pigment that is present in the carrot, which is giving it orangish red colored to the carrot. So this is how our paper chromatography technique can be carried out for the leaf extract. So children, I hope you like this experiment and find it interesting, and I wish and hope that all of you should delve into the field of biology and become good scientists, discovering new inventions that are beneficial to the human mankind and making miracle drugs and medicines that are helpful for the mankind, as well as provide us a long and